Hello, hello. Welcome. Oh my God, this is new. First day of school vibes. Gonna start a new series here called Coffee with Bestie. So grab a beverage and let's do this. This is literally my first time just going live on YouTube on my own, just hitting live on my computer and going for it. I wanted to come on and talk about something that I think is super exciting, that I feel it. The vibes are vibing. So let me know, hey, um, I want to know what you think, but I feel like a wave is coming, and all of us here on this channel who are deprogramming or CAA as harmful and are deconstructing the mainstream recovery narrative, we are like the early adopters on this wave that is going to crash. So this is my feeling. This is my gut instinct. As I say that, I get chills through my body. So this is my truth. Look, I don't know the future. Give me a fucking break. But I feel like there's a wave is about to crash, just like there was like a Me Too moment, or there's a moment in history where it's like enough is enough. There's enough awareness about a harm or about a problem or about something where change happens and the narrative shifts or the mainstream understanding changes. Let me know what you think in the comments. But I feel like there is a huge shift occurring in the recovery narrative. So, I mean, I get messages all the time. And so, one I just got yesterday was, thank you. I recently left AA about 6 months ago, and it's been the best thing I've ever done for myself. So, there are so many people that are leaving AA that are recognizing it as harmful and are deprogramming and coming alive after AA. So I posted something on my Facebook page yesterday. Once this is recorded, I'll put that link in the comments for anybody watching the replay. So actually, I posted a lot yesterday. And I just said a shift in the recovery narrative is coming. Many of us are done being anonymous, being oppressed by, being obedient to an archaic system. We are over being shunned, silenced, shamed. We are waking up to the truth. What's up? We're owning our stories, reclaiming our minds, freeing our voices. The truth is setting us free. Can you feel it? And I got a lot of people responding that yes, they can feel it too. So I don't know, like I just feel like there's something is starting to shift in culture where soon, now I don't know if that's going to be months, years or whatever, soon we're going to know at a mainstream level that there are paths of sobriety or of recovery or of harm reduction that are actually harmful, and we're going to have more of an informed consent around um, how we navigate addiction as a whole. And I think that's really, really exciting. That makes me feel really excited. I just feel like, you know, there shouldn't even be fighting between which path anybody chooses, right? Like, isn't alcohol like not the enemy, but shouldn't we have our energy against being harmed by alcohol and not harming each person who's trying to not be harmed by alcohol? So, and honestly, I know this is probably like a controversial view that I have. I don't feel like AA should disappear. That's not my goal. That's not my intent. I wouldn't be sad if it was gone. I don't, that's not like even in my consciousness. I just feel like let's just be honest about what it is. Like when you're going to get surgery, right? And the doctor says there is a 10% chance you might not survive the surgery. Or if you have cancer and you go to radiation and that there's going to be harm for the treatment or risks associated with the treatment. That is my desire for the mainstream recovery narrative. It brings like emotion to my eyes when I can feel like the tears like coming. I'm not going to cry, but I can just feel like how strongly like I just wish that for us. I just wish we could know what we're walking into when we're walking into a harmful treatment, the way that we know that with so many other medications or procedures, medical procedures, is that we're warned, we have informed consent, and then we can decide, we can choose. I'm all about choosing. I'm not about like cutting off paths. I'm about conscious and deliberate choice. Um, so yeah, let's see. Thank you for all your videos. I'm reading a comment here. Can I put these on the screen? I've never done this before. So let's see if I can put this on the screen. Can I? Put user in a timeout. Oh my God, that is so funny. No, that's not happening here. You can put users in a timeout. Good to know because I get trolled a lot. Okay, so we have someone over here saying, "Thank you for all your videos, Kirsten, and thanks for your email. I'm in England. I'm out still and not drinking, and I don't need a higher power to help me. Thank you for everything you do." You're very welcome. You know, fundamentally at my core, I just feel like I've had so much, yeah, it's emotional for me. I've gone through so much struggle in my life. And I just feel like if somebody would have been honest or told the truth or could have seen me, or I don't know, that I could have like struggled and suffered less. And I would love to be somebody who helps people struggle less. Like I thought I was doing that when I was inside Alcoholics Anonymous. And so if I can find the courage to share my story and my truth and it helps others, I really love that because I want to lessen suffering in the world. That's something that's very deep in the core of me. So if people are getting help by me sharing my story, like I feel like, yeah, that I really feel that, you know, that's really, it's what I wish existed for me because it was so hard to leave AA. Like here's the real. Like it was so hard to leave AA. I had the darkest thoughts in my head that I've ever had in my entire life. Darker than in my addiction was when I left AA because I was alone, I was shunned, I was confused, I was in a big dark night of the soul and it felt like nobody would mirror back to me that it was okay to trust myself. Everybody was saying, no, you have to go to AA, addictions forever, recoveries forever, all of that stuff. And so I just wish that there was even just one voice that would have said, trust yourself. Like, no, it is harmful. If it feels wrong, it is wrong, leave. And so, like, because that wasn't there for me and it was like very difficult to like survive leaving AA for me, like, I just would love to be that for somebody else. And I would love it if a lot of us felt that way too, but obviously everybody has their own path because I just feel like we deserve better. The people who have been to addiction and back, like we've already been to hell and back, most of us. I've been to hell and back, but even to get sober in the first place. So then to be like manipulated, conned, coerced, and like essentially abused in recovery, I'm like, what the fucking hell? So that's how gosh, I hit record and get all emotional. That's how I really feel. I just feel that we deserve better. Like, don't lie to us. Okay, we have Vic here. Um, we have a guy in our group that gives out big books to everyone that comes in the door. That's not new, but insists it's not religion. Totally. You know, I had a sponsor once, like, I don't know, maybe I was like 7 or 8 years sober, and I was in San Diego, and I was actually in a cult within a cult. And the first time that I met with my sponsor, the person that I knew that I wanted to work with was busy, like didn't have room. So she hooked me up with her sponsee. And the first time I met with that sponsor, she brought me like a very expensive Bible and then like signed me up for Christian women's camp or something. And I was like I have nothing against religion, but I'm not religious. Like, why are it's like she's indoctrinating me. So there is something weird about people insisting that you read their literature. Like, I just feel like now, like coercion is not the vibe. Like, how about thinking for ourselves and choosing? And yeah. So I wanted to talk about the recovery narrative is changing. I want to know, like, do you feel like the recovery narrative is changing? I feel like when enough people start speaking up, waking up, speaking out, and yeah, understanding the harms in a system, that it starts to create like a ripple effect and a change starts to be made. And for me, my desire is that the recovery narrative changes, that we know what it is so we can choose, that we understand the harms inherent in 12-step ideologies so that we can choose, or that when we feel like it's time for us to leave, that we know that we're not crazy, that we're not walking into death or danger, that actually it's okay, and that there's like steps out. That's like what I wish was there for us. That, okay, if you're going to get harmed with treatment, fine, fair enough, let us know in advance so we can be adults and choose that path or not. And then we know that we need to process or work through that harm from the treatment after we no longer need the treatment. Let's just be adults and be honest with each other. I don't understand why it's such a problem. Also, I wanted to start doing like maybe a weekly or something live. I don't know. I've got like this bug to create more content in a way that's like easier for me just to connect with everybody, connect with you versus like sometimes I get so bogged down in editing that it really limits how much I can create and how much time I spend on things. Like the video that I dropped this morning, which I'm obsessed with. It was so good. Let me know if you saw it. It was the one with Sam, where leaving AA and deprogramming really saved Sam's life. Like deprogramming from AA ideology saved Sam's life. So that video is like, I think we spent 2 hours recording, and then it's like usually twice as long after I record. So 4 hours for editing, and then like another hour to like process and put up and all that. And I'd rather just go live and connect and like, let's have conversations. For so long, we weren't allowed to talk about this stuff, that I just want to spark conversations, and I want other people to too, if they feel a desire to. But I want to initiate a bunch of conversations so that we can talk freely and we can unpack this all. And I don't know how long it takes to deprogram from a cult religion. I've heard some cult scholars say it can take 10 years to deprogram from a cult, or however long you were in is how long you need to work on getting out. I don't think there's obviously not any rules to healing, and everybody's different, and not everybody was a true believer or stayed as long or believed as deep or whatever, right? There's no rules to healing. And while I really love the videos that I edit and put out, I would just like to connect more often. And it's just easier when I hit live and don't have to then have any work on the back end. I can just like shoot the shit and hang. And we can have these conversations that normally we would not allowed to have, because I don't know, I felt like I had to stay anonymous when I left AA. I felt guilty, like I couldn't talk. I couldn't share my story. I didn't own my truth. I needed to stay silent. Otherwise, I was ruining it for the newcomer. Or yeah, I had all sorts of guilt when I left AA. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like I get to be myself, and that I don't owe my truth, my story, my silence, any of that to an archaic system that I'm no longer participating in. Okay. Let's see. The reason I still go to AA meetings is to pass the message that there are other ways, and I don't do the podium level per se, but before and after meeting, if newcomers reach out to me. Yeah, like Vic, I love that. Like my wish is that we all know we can like do recovery our own way, that there is no one way to do it. So whether you're going to meetings or not going to meetings, taking a trip, not taking a trip, however you want to do your recovery is great. I'm all like, awesome. Like, do you want to go to AA? Great. Love it for you. Do you want to not go? Great. Love it for you. Do I want to go? Hell fucking no. So that's how I feel. I feel like we should be able to choose what we want to do and how we participate. And that's it. And don't judge us. Like, let us recover in whatever way feels right to us. Let us trust ourselves. Let us just be ourselves. So that's how I feel. Also, Vic, you're a legend for even like coming up with that term, a doorknob of your understanding. Still obsessed. That's like the line of the week. It's a doorknob of your understanding. Turn your will and life over to a doorknob of your understanding. Okay. You guys, please realize that when I have like fun sayings about AA, like I didn't really make them up. Y'all did. I'm learning from you in the comments. It's like crowdsourcing the best post AA humor ever. I did not make up doorknob of your own understanding. That was Vic, legend. Also, Bill shit. That was not me. That was another commenter. Thank you. And what's the other one? Oh, Bill Boozled. I got Bill Boozled. I'm like, yes, love it, obsessed. These are not my terms, but I will say them because they are iconic and they're fun. And let's add laughter to our cult recovery. You know what I mean? Let's laugh at it all. I think that helps the healing. Okay, weekly live sounds cool. The video with Sam was great, by the way. Oh yeah, I really I felt like it was so like, I always just feel so moved when somebody speaks their truth and is so vulnerable about topics that are rarely ever talked about that way. So for Sam, if you guys didn't see it, I dropped a video today, Sam's story. She actually like really came close to not making it, and deprogramming from AA is what saved her life. And I just feel like it's just, oh, it makes me like feel like the chills and want to cry at all the same time. I just like, we deserve it. We deserve better. And to hear people share their truth, I just feel like it helps so many of us. You know what I mean? When we can come together and tell our stories. So when people want to share their stories and when they get really honest, I just feel like it is such like a treasure. It's really rare out here that we have an opportunity to hear genuine stories of surviving Alcoholics Anonymous. And for a lot of people, it really is surviving Alcoholics Anonymous. And I think of some of my friends who didn't survive it, right? And so I love that we can laugh out here and we can also be real out here and that we have a space to do that. Let's see. Oh yeah, so the weekly thing I'm thinking about doing just so we can connect and vibe and play. Obviously, I'm doing the thing on Sundays now, which is if you haven't heard about it, it's with Burn the Stigma. Bernie for Burn the Stigma, Bernie and Bestie live. Bestie's sobriety bestie, obviously me. And so Bernie and Bestie live, we're doing that Sunday mornings at 9 Pacific or wink wink at high noon Eastern. I thought that was kind of funny. High noon for Bernie. And so yeah, I love the Bernie and Bestie live. And I love that Bernie has a or Tara Grace from Burn the Stigma has a different experience than me, different drug of choice than me, different path of harm reduction than me. And I like bouncing off with her. And we're doing a weekly show on Sundays. But I was thinking about doing one where it's just me and you. And so I was thinking of calling it Coffee with Bestie or Tea with Bestie. I don't know. It depends on the time of the day. At a certain time of day, I can't drink coffee anymore because I won't sleep at night. So sometimes it's tea with Bestie. But I thought that might be kind of fun. And even if I go to like a cafe and go live and like literally I order a tea and we all get on and have like a beverage of our choice and like shoot the shit, I thought that'd be kind of fun to create community. Y'all know it's not about me, right? Obviously, it's really about everybody connecting in the comments. So it's about what we all think. It's about what we all think. To me, that's the deprogramming is that realizing that it's not about any one person. It's about figuring out our truth based upon everybody and using all of the resources to figure out like who we are and what we think. Okay, this takes bravery and courage, and I 100% support you in this movement. AA is a cult, particularly Pacific Group. Yeah, y'all, I never went to Pacific Group, but I heard about that. I did go to a cult within a cult in San Diego. Some of the things that were parroted around that cult was that we were closer to God than mainstream AA, that we were better than mainstream AA. So we were superior to mainstream AA. I was there for 6 months. I was only in San Diego for 6 months in that group. But we did the big book a different way and we were more evolved. And regular AA is harmful, but this AA is better. We're more like God aligned and all of that mumbo jumbo, right? And so that was like the rhetoric I heard when I got there. I actually liked that group too. I mean, it was fun, you know. I liked AA. It's just not true. Let's see. You know what? I also love it that for me as a dissenter, I liked AA and somebody like Victor from Quackaholics Anonymous, shout out to Victor. He didn't like AA and he had a whole different experience with AA, which was, it sounded pretty traumatic actually when I heard his story. And so, yeah, I love it that there's people with different perspectives so that when the AA, like people who are in a ideology say, "Oh, sorry it didn't," people always say to me, "Sorry it didn't work with you," or "Sorry you had a bad experience with AA." I'm like, "Bro, I was literally crying on Bill Wilson's grave, thanking him for my life, leaving my chip there. I was an AA cult, but I had the true believer cult number one culty badge. Okay, so no, I loved AA. I didn't have a bad experience of AA. I realized it was baloney. Just like Santa, you know what I mean? Like, I just realized it was baloney, so I moved on. It wasn't a bad experience. Let's see. Experience I would question things and ask others in the rooms about things and ask why and why this, and I always shut down for asking questions. Yeah, I feel like when a group won't let you ask questions, that's a red flag right there. Sing it, sister. Yeah, AA is a motherfucking cult. I don't know if that was singing, but yeah, I watched that video. Cool. Okay. I feel like you were an awesome sponsor. Oh my God. You know what? Tara said to me, she's like, you know what? If we were in AA, I might have asked you to sponsor me. I'm like, oh my God, Tara Grace. So funny. Let's see. I had so many friends that were not told not to take meds. Oh, this is a good one. Me included. Yes, totally. A few, oh, fuck. A few committed suicide. I'm so sorry to hear that, and I know exactly what you mean, and I wish we were heard when we talk about this. I wish we were heard when we talk about this. Whew, that was an unexpected shot to my heart. I finally got on Zoloft and I needed this. Who were they to play doctors or God? 100%. We deserve better. I was told by my sponsor in the very beginning that my only problem was alcohol. The only problem I would ever have is alcoholism. And the only solution I would never need is the 12 steps. And because of that, I never sought outside help. Meaning, I mean, I did therapy and stuff occasionally when with childhood trauma, but I never looked for a outside diagnosis or professional to evaluate me because I wasn't told you can't get outside help. I was never told that explicitly, but I was told all it is alcoholism and all you need is the 12 steps. And so when I heard people sharing about what I now know is describing the thought life and emotional life of autism and ADHD, I was identifying, but they were calling it alcoholism. So I thought all of that was alcoholism. And the solution then is to pray it away. So I'm praying away my ADHD to a doorknob of my understanding, right, Vic? And I'm praying away my autism to a doorknob of my understanding. And guess what? It didn't work. So how do I feel when it works if you work it? If it's not working, do more of what's not working. So I'm doing more of praying away my natural wiring. So yeah, it's devastating. Being told not to take meds or not get outside help or get professional. It's not even outside help, is it? It's professional help. Okay. I was more cocaine anonymous than AA. Sweet. True fun fact here, I've never done cocaine in my life. I had a bad experience with a friend who was on cocaine, and I swore that if I survived that experience, I would never do cocaine. Literally, actually, I'll just tell you guys what it was. I was, oh God, it makes me emotional. Why am I getting so emotional on a live? Ooh. It was the month that I turned 18, so I was pretty young. And my roommate, who had been up for many days, and I didn't know if it was on speed or cocaine. Obviously, at that point, he must be paranoid. I've never done speed or cocaine. I don't know those vibes. But obviously, like, anyway, I was sleeping in my room and I woke up with a loaded gun to my head and it's tapping me on the forehead. And he said, "What would you do if I shot you?" And I closed my eyes and I just thought, I'm too young to die. I am too young to die. But I swore to myself in that moment that if I survived, I would never do whatever he was on. I would never put in my body whatever made his mind think that it was okay to hold a gun to my head. And so I never did speed and I never did cocaine because of that. So in a lot of ways, I feel like I didn't know I was going to say all this. Maybe going live is not the vibe. I'm like a hot mess over here. Welcome to Coffee with Bestie. So not only did I survive that moment, obviously, but I think I also saved myself a lot of heartache because I was at the rave for a very long time and I watched all of my friends dabble in speed and cocaine, specifically cocaine, especially like around 21 or whatever. And I never did it, but I was always with them when they were doing it. So I just and I could see like a nasty side of it. Like after the third or the fourth line or whatever, it kind of went to a different place and everyone was like a vulture over the lines. And I'm like, that doesn't look appealing to me. But you know what I did was dumb too. I just drank more. I thought drinking more would make up for it, but no, I just ended up really drunk and like kicked out of bars. um, let's see. Where do I go in the comments? You should do a reverse AA meeting so we have somewhere to create that fellowship we lost. Yeah. Like a deprogramming AA or let's see. My doctor originally recommended AA, but I'm also going through therapy for a totally different thing. And she doesn't recommend AA due to the need for external power and not self. Yeah, totally. We are powerful. Anybody who tells you you're not powerful is trying to control you. I believe that. It's like, what do you believe though? I believe that anybody who's trying to disempower me or tell me I'm lacking power is trying to control me. Not interested. Go live and have us all come. Yeah. Apparently I laugh and I cry and it's like quite the adventure. I'm like, what is coming out of my mouth? You can't edit this out. You are live. Oops. Sorry, I just adore you. You saved me. I have to keep posting now that you go live, lol. Aw. Thank you. Yeah, I just really feel at the core of my being that we deserve better. And I got to a point after 5 years of not saying anything. fucking cry with you guys. Should I call it crying with Bestie for the lives? Like, fuck. Woo! I just felt like after 5 years of not saying anything, like, it was building inside me that it's just not right. I can no longer not say something. It is so fucked up what's happening there that I can't not say anything anymore. People need to hear the truth so that they can be validated and supported on their exit journey. I'm not trying to convert any AA members. No, stay in your group if you're happy. I'm not trying to change any beliefs. But for the people who are questioning, one foot in, one foot out, or already totally out, it's like, I feel like we should be deserved to be validated. And I felt like none of the professionals who call themselves addiction professionals, who have all the books and all the millions of followers and stuff like that, would even touch it. I'm like, why will nobody touch the third rail that's Alcoholics Anonymous? How about it's not a third rail? How about like mental health and addiction recovery is like very important, and we should be transparent about it and not lie to people for their own good, because lying to people for their own good, I don't know, it's kind of giving cult to me, and I don't do that anymore. Let's see. Peace to everyone. Yeah, peace, Bestie. I want to come on your show and tell my experience in Pacific Group's cult. I was in the inner circle. I had a sponsor drag me. You guys, think my eyes are getting bad. How do I make this bigger so I can read it? My sponsor dragged me into an abortion clinic. When I told her sponsor, she directed her, or she said she directed her. That's brutal. If you want to come on Sobriety Bestie podcast, send me a DM. The best way to do that is either through Facebook Messenger, like I use my Facebook personal page mostly, or go to, the easiest way for me to tell you is to say, go to my Instagram, Sobriety Bestie, and send me a DM there. Or if you want to send a email, support@sobrietybestie.com is a great way to get in touch with me. Right now, I'm in a trauma cult. Right now, I'm in trauma cult survivor therapy. Awesome. Really happy to hear that you're supported. But when I'm ready, I need to tell my story. My child is dead because they directed this to happen and threatened to kick me out of it if I didn't go through with it. I'm so sorry to hear it. I mean, it really is so fucked up, some of the stuff that we experience in 12-step cult religion. And I'm really sorry to hear it. They say we shouldn't judge, but then when someone relapses, they usually say they didn't work the steps. Gaslight energy. I know. Oh my God. Okay. So I started, you probably noticed my channel is getting a little bit crazy right now on YouTube because I put 3 videos up yesterday that came from like replying to TikTok comments. I'm so new to TikTok. Like I posted there before, but I've never tried to figure out what to do there, or the etiquette, or I don't know, the culture. And so yesterday I replied to like 3 comments, because apparently you can like reply to a comment, but I'm like Gen X. I don't know how to do this TikTok. What is TikTok? And so then I put those recordings on YouTube too. I was like, why don't I just put them on YouTube, even though it's going to make my channel like super, like, I don't know, maybe hectic, because there's all these like, but I think it's I made a separate playlist that's going to be the vertical videos. I'm calling it deprogram Q&As. So when I reply to a question that's either from an angry stepper or like a troll, or it's from somebody who left AA, whatever it is from TikTok, I can put them on YouTube so that you guys can see them too. But they're going to be like this way versus this way. So because they're going to be a different way, I thought I'd make them in their own playlist in case people on their phone like to scroll through and vibe. Shoot, where was I? My tangent just lost me. Sorry, guys. Gaslight energy. Oh yeah. The it works if you work it. That's like the thing that they say on TikTok all the time. It works if you work it. It worked for me, so it works. I'm like, since when ever did anything working for one person mean that it works for all the people? Whatever. Like, look, y'all know, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. If you don't know, now you know. I have a like master's in statistics. I understand data, but I think I understood this when I was in kindergarten that one person's experience is not the same as a population's experience. You cannot take one individual's experience and infer to the entire population of anybody who could ever potentially be addicted to anything, which I would argue is everybody. Addiction is a human thing. I don't think there's a special alcoholic thing. And when people say there's an alcoholic personality, I'm like, bullshit. So I just think that there's so much like recovery dogma around it. I think any brain can become addicted. You put enough of a substance into a brain, it can become addicted. Now, there's probably vulnerabilities, and some brains can be more addicted than others. And when I understood ADHD and like that there's when you have ADHD, you are 6 times more likely to have an alcohol addiction. I was like, okay, that makes sense, right? Because maybe there's dopamine's different or whatever, right? Okay, fair enough. But the it works if you work it. I'm like, if by working it, like it works if you work it. If by it works, you mean abstinence, which is essentially the surface goal of AA, let's call it, right? Abstinence is the surface goal. The actual goal is religious conversion, in my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. AA is a religious conversion program. But the surface goal, abstinence, so it works. I think they mean abstinence happens here if you work the steps. And the stats may vary, but it might be 95% failure rate. So clearly that statement's not true. But even if it works, like let's say someone said the surgery works, it removed your tumor, but the surgery also left you you had to amputate all your arms and your legs, and you had to have a heart transplant, and you had to have a blood infusion and all this other stuff too. So you're just saying it worked. It's like, yeah, but what about all the harm from the treatment? Can we also look at, it's not binary, did it work or not? Am I abstinent or not? What about the entire picture? Because the goal isn't abstinence. The goal is like thriving, right? It's like to survive and then thrive. So I don't even agree with the whole it works if you work it parroting thing. And yeah, if you want to understand a population of people, you never look at one individual and say, see, that's what the population's like because that's what it's like. And it's so like, what's the word? Like infantile when you think your experience is everybody's experience. It's like, do you really think that? Are you just parroting the ideology? I don't think people actually think that. I think that they're just mindlessly in the group thing parroting the ideology. Let's see. Can I make this bigger? You guys really, my eyes are like, let's see. Good. I'm going to email my story. Yeah, please. Have you done a pod with Sexton Space about breaking down the allergy myth? Ooh, I'm going to take a note there. Okay. So Macaulay, Sexton, allergy myth. Thank you. Breakdown. I've actually been on his podcast, Recovery Reform. So I was on his podcast and I invited him to be on Sobriety Bestie. I think he's just been busy, but so that plan is in the works, but I will make a note of that to for sure ask him about the allergy myth breakdown. I love recommendations and feedback. When you're in a cult, it's amazing the things you can do for the cult. Totally. You're doing great, Kirsten. You're amazing, and we are all grateful for you. Oh, thank you. You are real. I love you for it. Yeah, let's all be fucking real. We don't have to be culties. Have you heard about like cult personalities? That was me. I was a cult personality. It's like embarrassing to admit because you're told you can't be angry, you can't be resentful, you have to be grateful. So like, I don't know, next Friday, maybe I'll do like a little sneak preview. Let's see if I have a photo on my phone I can show you. Carrie and I, you guys know Carrie, right? She's been on the podcast before. So we did a whole, can you see? We got all vibey here with our backgrounds. We have a Thanksgiving video that's going to drop next Thursday about gratitude in AA. So stay tuned for that. Because most of us have been traumatized with gratitude, right? And that's part of the cult personality. Like you're not allowed to feel anxious, angry, fearful, anything. You have to be grateful all the time. You have to be all culted. Let's see. I'm new to TikTok, not sure I can like it. Totally, it's not for everybody. It's brutal. Like for me, the worst mental health room I've ever been in is TikTok. Talking about AA is problematic. It's like literally the things these people say. I'm like, where are all these people coming from with all this like intense stuff? It's brutal. I've like kind of gone in, gone out, gone in, gone out. Like I'll go in for like 3 days, then leave for like 3 months, go in for 3 days, leave for 3 months. But I'm thinking about being more regular there. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Quick question. What are your views on the Reframe app? Is it good? I've had a trial and it seemed good in a secular in style. Curious to your view. Thanks, Dan. Dan, I don't know about it. So I'm going to write that down. Reframe app. Is that like a recovery thing? Reform. Is that like a recovery program or recovery support or something? AA is gay. Say more. What does that mean? Okay. Would you like these awful experiences? Would you say that these awful experiences mostly happen to longstanding members of AA who are very involved in the program? I've only been a relative newcomer and did not get anything like this. I mean, the awful experiences can happen on your day one. You could walk in and a predator could come in and assault you, right? So, I mean, that's just like the world. There's no timeline for when you're going to be traumatized by predators, and there certainly is predators in AA. There are people in AA who get court ordered there, right? There's so you can even like Google serial killers that went to AA. I think there's like one or two that they're kind of like notorious that I saw. So I don't like think that there's a straight answer to that, but I think that the longer that you're there, the way that brainwashing works that I understand it, the more that it's going to affect it's going to reform your thoughts and affect you and infect your Freudian slip, affect your entire life. Also, I would say that when I was in AA, I wasn't aware of the harms of AA. I didn't realize that it was harmful and that by me sponsoring people and speaking meetings that I was perpetuating the harm. And so I think that there's a big disconnect between AA members or even people who left AA or didn't go very deep in AA and the people who have deprogrammed it, who are probably fully indoctrinated, or even if you've never been, but you've looked at the deprogramming of AA and understand the ideology. Um, it's hard to see the harm because if you're not looking for it and you're not aware of it, you might not know it exists. It's weird, I feel like, with cults where, and AA is like a really weird one where people, when it comes to Jonestown, nobody is confused that Jonestown was dangerous. When it comes to Waco, Texas, and the Branch Davidians, nobody's confused. When it comes to Charlie Manson and the murders, nobody's confused. When it comes to AA, everybody's confused, like the whole society. I mean, props to Bill Wilson, right, for being a great salesman and getting the AA propaganda team in action in the 1940s. The world's been conned in my view, and most people, the common narrative is that AA is non-harmful, that AA is the path, AA is the way. That's why it's the predominantly like if you watch a movie or a show or whatever, if they talk about recovery, generally they're talking about AA, right? It's like the mainstream way to go to get sober. People don't generally know that it's harmful. So I think a big part of the hidden harm is that society still thinks it's a viable recovery path. In my opinion, it is a religious conversion group, and it's not related to recovery because recovery would be talking about things like your nervous system and coping skills and things like that. But AA is pretty much, I mean, you look at the 12 steps of AA, they literally come straight from the Oxford group, which is a cult religion, and their religious principles. So it's fully a religion is how I see it now. Let's see. Who here has lost a friend while under the care of a sponsor? I've lost. Oof. I've lost 3 on board here now. Yeah. I mean, there's one person in specific. This was in Bali AA. And when he died, and then we had a ceremony at the beach and all Bali AA all came to and stuff. I just really felt in my mind, in my core, in my full on being, because I knew his story. And his sponsor told him to cancel the outside help, and he wasn't allowed to get outside help until he finished his 5th step, and he didn't make it. And he had 3 kids. And I just felt like AA was responsible for his death. And I felt like nobody's even talking about this. And I felt like that was my first crack in my AA brainwashing, because I felt like I'm not okay with this. This isn't okay. How am I a part of a group where this is okay? Like, he's dead, not coming back. Like, they're orphaned, the kids. Like, this isn't okay. How am I in a group that is just going to sweep this under the rug? Like, it's fine. It's not fine. So for me, I didn't leave. It was about 11 more months, I think, until I left AA. But that was the first like crack in my brainwashing where I was like, this is not okay. What we're doing here is not okay. Let's see. Yes, they are a great double act. I lost a few people thanks to sponsors. Only met a few good people in AA, and that's in 15 years, but it doesn't work for everyone. That's my experience. It did not work for me. I cannot believe so many died because of sponsorship. It's heartbreaking and traumatizing. Totally. And what really is upsetting is that there are mental health professionals, including one that I was commenting with today on TikTok, who she's saying AA saves lives. I'm a therapist or counselor or like whatever she said. The video will be on YouTube later today. And I'm just like, yo, lady, we are out here saying this program is harmful and some of our friends are dead. And instead of hearing us, you're actively sending people there and gaslighting us. You're actively ignoring what we're saying. And I feel that's because AA is a cult. And people are really weird about cults. It's like the weirdest phenomenon. And that normally, if you're sending people to a group who are vulnerable, you would be cautious and you would want to hear from the dissenters. You would want to hear from the unhappy members to understand that group better. But if you're just completely gaslighting or like trolling the ex-members who say they had that it was harmful, you're complicit in the harm. And I don't blame her or fault people in that perspective. I think that that's the cult indoctrination that globally we're in, because Bill and Marty Mann in the 1940s got AA so embedded in the American court systems, in the rehabs, in government, in politics. Well, maybe not, but in Hollywood, in media, that AA essentially is the way, that there's a disease model, that it's fatal progressive, you need to recover forever, and it's all through Bill's 12 steps, Bill's religious salvation plan. I cannot believe so many died. Yeah. Me too. Yeah, it's like a reduction abstinence app. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I want to look at that. Thank you. I love recommendations. It's happening all over Los Angeles now. Amen. So right on. You are preaching the truth. Yeah, we deserve the truth. So the reason why I wanted to start this live, by the way, do you guys prefer coffee with Bestie or tea with Bestie? I just want like a short name for these lives so that maybe I pick a specific day that they're always on. Maybe it's even a specific time, but it's probably easiest just to pick a day, like it's always on Thursdays or always whatever, just to kind of give it some like structure. Do you like tea with Bestie or coffee with Bestie? Because I like coffee a lot, and that's my preference. I'm a coffee drinker, but tea is also good too. And I think tea with Bestie sounds better. And I drink both every day. I drink tea in the evenings. I like a good herbal tea. And fun fact, I also went to herb school, like in person, in the dirt herb school for 6 months, like 2 years ago. I learned all about herbs. This was after I felt inspired to go to Peru 3 years ago and to take ayahuasca in the jungle with a shaman down there. And that was part of my healing journey. And it was scary as shit and also very freeing and liberating. I hope I don't feel inspired to go do that again because I don't like psychedelics, but I went, I did it, and it definitely liberated me and terrified me. It's kind of traumatic at times. But after that, I really got like viscerally the power of plant medicine. and it woke me up. Like ayahuasca woke me up to all plants in general and the medicinal properties of them. So that's when I signed up for herb school, and I wanted to learn about all the plants. And I don't mean psychedelics specifically. I mean, I wanted to learn, like, my favorite go-to tea is Tulsi. Yeah, I like to drink Tulsi almost every day and put other things in there too for calming, for regulation. So I kind of like tea with Bestie, but I don't know, coffee with Bestie might be good. Coffee and tea with besties. Ooh, I like it besties. That's kind of a vibe. Yeah. The reason I still occasionally go to AA is because I have pretty much no friends in real life, very relatable now, and people in AA seem very friendly and welcoming. I disagree with all of their ideology, but still go. I think this is like the most real thing that can be said. The the loss of community is like devastating for many of us. Now, not everybody felt connected in AA, so I also hear that and like know that that's true for people. But the loss of the community is devastating for a lot of us. And you know, I feel like we don't really get that back. There's nothing like the fake feeling of being connected in a cult. Like it really does feel like a family. It did to me, you know. I like traveling the world. I like being able to go anywhere and like walk into a room and have instant friends, people to go to dinner with, do activities with, and things like that. I love that benefit of cult life for sure. So I'm not downplaying that that sucks to lose that. Of course, there's connection outside of that, and it doesn't have to be around addiction or recovery. It could be around tennis or macrameing or basket weaving or jogging or anything really, right? But I also really, really get that some people still go for the community and the connection. I've heard that from a lot of people, so I totally hear that. I'm going to be biased. I'm in UK, so it's always tea for me. Yeah, tea time. This is all of our community. I feel like coffee or tea with besties. Ooh, what is that? Was that like a British saying, coffee, tea, or me? What was that? Is that like from a movie? I'm having like a memory. Like, let me write this down. Coffee or tea with besties. That's kind of a vibe. Okay. Lol. We love you, UK. Okay, so in the UK, what was it I was told about the UK? So in America and also in Indonesia, I heard this, or maybe I was the one saying it in Indonesia. The disease is in the parking lot doing push-ups. I heard in the UK from somebody that it's something like the monkeys out the window doing cardio or something, which is all mythology, obviously, right? Let's see. Totally, I hear you. I lost 4 friends when I left. It's so hard, and I can make you feel alone. You are not alone. Stay strong. Yeah. One friend recently died in her first year of the 12 steps. That was my last straw. Yeah. My awakening. It appears jails, institutions, and death has the propensity to become a self-fulfilling outcome. Ugh, this is it. This is why the powerless narrative is so tragic, because people believe it. And if you believe there is no chance that you have the power to stop once you pick up, you won't even freaking try. That's the harm in it. That's the danger in the powerless narrative. Not just when it applies to the rest of your life, because when I got to AA, my sponsor had me list 100 ways I was powerless in life, not with alcohol, in life, but also that meant about alcohol. But I was conditioned to see myself in being powerless with everything. Um, but I do think that a lot of people, when you're told AA is the only way and it works if you work it, and you're working it and it's not working, and you're told that you're being constitutionally incapable and all this other balloon sense, and rarely have we seen a person fail. So all of the doctrine and the dogma and the slogans and the brainwashing is saying AA always works. If it doesn't work, it's you. So if you're in that kind of a system and it's not working, or if you go and you drink and then you think that, okay, well, I'm screwed if I drink, I'm going to have to keep drinking, then you keep drinking. It's already going to be hard enough to stop doing something that you're enjoying. And we know that when you have 1 drink, 2 drink, three drinks, your ability to have control over your impulses is lessened. So it's harder to not drink after you've had a drink or two. But if you add to that, that you are unable to stop, we know about the placebo effect. We know about the nocebo effect. So what the hell does that do? Yes, for some of us, it takes us out. I mean, takes us down like 6 feet for some of us. And that's the harm with that. The harm goes beyond our self-esteem, which is already tragic. When you kick somebody who's down, when you kick them down even further by making them like do the moral, and who wants to do a freaking moral inventory? Are you kidding me? What the hell? What does that even mean? Do a moral inventory? Sorry, some of it just sounds crazy out here. Let's see. Okay. Love the live feed, Bestie Anonymous. Joking, but this is good. Still have connection with many who are familiar with and still want to do better. Yeah. I prefer the color breathing method for my recovery process. Color breathing method. Say more. I'm going to write that down. I love our comment section because it feels like crowdsourcing like wisdom because I learned so much from everybody and we all can like learn from each other. I love it. So what was that color? Where did we go? Oh no, I lost it. Uh, color breathing method. Okay. How about a beer with Bestie? Oh my God. JK, I love my sobriety and AA is not the reason why I stay sober. Yeah. People like it's so funny. Like TikTokers think like AA lovers think it's like an insult. Why don't you go try to have a drink? I'm like, if you're not powerless, go try to have a drink. I'm like, I don't want to drink. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to drink soda. Why would I go do something I don't want to do to prove something to a haterade? No, thank you. Like, and by the way, it's so weird that like the way that people in AA are conditioned to communicate. Let me know if you agree with this. Maybe you're not interacting with as many of the haters of AA as I am because I'm putting myself out there, but maybe you are. But the way that AAs communicate when you don't agree with them, when you think AA is dangerous or harmful, is they, oh shoot, did I just lose my track of thought? What were we talking about? Oh, they make up all of these assumptions like that I want to drink or that that my amount of time of sobriety is like they assume I don't have sobriety or don't have enough sobriety to have an opinion on if AA is harmful or not. They make up all these things in their mind and project all these things on me, whether it's emotion. Somebody today was saying that it's hate. To say AA is harmful is hate. It's hate speech. I'm like, if your group can't hear that it's harmful, if you think that that means I'm hating you, no, I'm trying to help the people who feel harmed. Like, what do you mean? And so they just project like emotions, they project stories. They're like, you didn't do all the 12 steps, or you didn't do the 12 steps in order. I'm like, bro, literally nothing about me. I could be drunk as fuck, never went to AA, and I could still have an opinion that AA is harmful. And it has nothing to do with my personal experience. They make everything personal and try to make it as a reason to not listen to what I'm saying, which is AA is harmful and it's okay to leave and question it. And it's not about me. It has nothing to do with me. And so when someone today was like, "Yeah, but how long have you been sober?" And I was like, "I don't play the sobriety status game. I'm not in a hierarchy where I'm only validated if I have a certain amount of time. I don't play that game." And he's like, "Yeah, but don't be so defensive. Like um don't be so defensive. It does matter. Like your thoughts change over time of your recovery." I'm like, okay, I get a point. Like if somebody has a lot more evolution on something or time or experience, maybe that equates to wisdom, although not exactly, obviously. Let's see. Um, cults work, they target and want people to need help to mold into what they want. Even when we are down, we are strong and will always stay strong. TikTok has no patience enough for healing work. I'm in Scotland. Tea for me, tea. Hey, yeah, I'm in South Coast, UK. Hope you're well. I say tea too. Okay, tea. Cults work the opposite. It bends your self-concept values where you can only stay with them. Most like the addiction themselves. Yeah. Coffee straight. Yeah, I drink black coffee. I actually put in MCT oil and froth it up with a little stir. Um, let's see. It's the ones you don't see because of the dogma that don't make it. Totally agree. One addiction to another. Sorry, I'm messaging too much in this chat. No, you're fine. Be who you want to be. Let's express the fuck out of ourselves. We were told to stay silent. We were shamed, shunned, and silenced and told to stay anonymous, essentially, with a lot of emotional manipulation. So I think it takes such courage to even write in the comments right here. Even if you're writing through an anonymous account with a cartoon photo, I still think speaking our truth is part of the healing. We know that that was working for us in AA, right? Like there is some like benefit we get to when it's cathartic to speak our truth, share our story, and connect with others on a similar path. And AA doesn't get to take this from us. In fact, it taught a lot of us that this actually can be healing to authentically connect with others who get our suffering and are moving through the healing journey. AA doesn't get to steal that from us. We get to reclaim all of it. We get to own our story, own our truth. We are allowed to talk about this stuff, even though the AAs might hate it on the internet, or some of them, not all of them. When I say AAs, I don't mean like all of them. I'd say most of them stay silent. Most of them don't shun people in the comments. Most people are not trolls online. Let's be clear. um, am I addicted to recovery? Am I recovery addict? Right. I'm sorry. I don't understand that one. For many years, I had been conditioned that I cannot drink moderately. But once I rejected that idea, all of a sudden I was able to forced sobriety, in my case, leads to a rebound effect of over drinking. Yeah. So there's something called the abstinence. Is it called the abstinence rebound effect? Something where like when you're really, really hungry, and I learned about this in Sinclair Method, reading the book, The Cure for Alcoholism. I have a video on the cure for alcoholism, which I know sounds sketchy because there's the word cure and the word alcoholism. A lot of us don't even like that word. But it talks about this abstinence like rebound effect, something like that, where like when you're really, really hungry and you haven't eaten in a long time and there's a lot of food in front of you, you might overeat because you've been deprived. Oh, alcohol deprivation effect. I think that's what it is. So because you've been deprived, you're going to overdo it when you actually have the thing that you've been deprived of. And the same is true for alcohol. Because we've been deprived, there could be a tendency to overdo it. So there's nothing doing push-ups in the parking lot. Did you check the parking lot? Has anybody checked the parking lot? Because there turns out diseases don't do push-ups. We all knew this, but the moral of that story lived within a lot of us because we did believe it sounds so crazy now. Our disease is getting stronger in sobriety. What? No, it's the alcohol. To me, the explanation for that I found in science that makes sense to me. Now, remember, science is always changing and my mind's always changing too. So it's not about what science says now or what I say now. It's obviously about continually updating and evolving the way that we see things as we have new information, because we're critical fucking thinkers now. We're not culted. And so, this is so cool. You guys are doing these little, I don't know what they're called. I think that means you sent me money. Kate, thank you. Gen X, thank you. I don't even know what this is called, but it looks like I'm not sure what this is. It's my first time going live. Actually, to be honest, I went live one time 8 years ago in the Grand Canyon and did a guided meditation from the Grand Canyon because I wanted to share the view because it was so pretty. And I was just like, I felt my soul was exploding and I wanted to share the joy with YouTube. But this is really my first ever live by myself straight through YouTube. When Tara Grace, Burn the Stigma, and I are doing it, we're doing it through another platform called StreamYard, where you can put the comments live on. I might actually purchase that software so I can put your comments live on the screen. I can't do that straight through YouTube, I don't think. I'm still learning. I'm a beginner at all this shit. I am failing forward. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I just feel very deeply inspired to be doing this, even though I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to use TikTok. I don't know how to do YouTube Live, but I'm trying. I wish I can get the font bigger. I mean, Gen Xer over here, my eyes are not what they used to be. Let's see. Dr. Walter Martin from CRI first gained my interest in his late work called Kingdom of the Cults. Ooh, that's interesting. Bulletproof coffee, right? Yep, bulletproof coffee. So I studied when I found out when I got assessed as autistic, that was in 2021. I left AA in 2020, and a year later, pretty much to the week, I got assessed as autistic. I was struggling with my sensory system. It was like in a bad way. And then I went in August 2024 and had it looked at together for autism and ADHD. And she said, yes, autism and ADHD. So when I learned more about autism, because if you can't tell by now, I'm like such a geek at heart. I love studying, I love learning, I love connecting the dots and like really going deep in things. And so when I dove deep into autism, which was like 2 years of reading every peer reviewed article I could find, looking at every perspective on autism, I didn't want to accept autism as an identity and then identify with what are the so called dysfunctions or traits or symptoms of autism or whatever you want to call them. I don't mean to be offensive, just different people call it different things. I wanted to find a way to improve my brain and I wanted to be at least delulu, like delusional that there was growth and freedom available for me because I have found that when I believe freedom is available for me, I tend to take the actions that lead to more freedom. So I like to have that belief even if everybody tells me it's not possible. So one of the things that I found when I was diving deep into autism is there was this study with autistic kids who were put on the ketogenic diet and look, I've had a lot of problems in my life. Alcohol addiction's obviously been one of them. Cult experience is obviously one of them. But I've never had like a food problem. That's just not been my thing. I don't like the way I physically feel when I'm like overly stuffed. I would never eat too much because I just feel so like I don't like to feel shitty. Like it doesn't feel good. I'm like hypersensitive. So, anyways, I learned about the ketogenic diet, and I had never been on a diet before in my entire life. But when I learned about ketones and the brain and how they tried for 3 months or 6 months or even 2 years, they gave autistic kids because they usually test. They forget that autistic kids grow up into be adults that are still autistic, right? But that they improved when they were on the ketogenic diet because when their brain ran on ketones instead of on glucose, and I didn't even know about any of this at the time, that their brain was able to essentially, like, pardon my like simple words here and non-scientific understanding, clean themselves up. Like the garbage was able to be taken out of the brain, like the toxins, whatever, the debris, essentially, the glial cells. And so that being on the ketogenic diet allowed the brain inflammation and overall brain and functioning to improve in like with statistically significant results. So I was like, okay, cool. So then I got on the ketogenic diet, and that's what started the bulletproof coffee, which is the MCT oil in my coffee in the morning. Okay. Tangent on a tangent on a tangent. But I think a lot of us find that what we were calling alcoholism or alcoholic in AA is actually described other ways and other ways of looking at the brain. And so what I've come to find out about myself is autism, ADHD, and CPTSD or complex PTSD, more and lack of coping skills, more accurately described what my brain was experiencing. And then also the alcohol addiction on top of that, right? But underlying it all, it wasn't alcoholism. It was a divergent brain, a hypersensitive nervous system, and yeah. So that really helps me because then instead of going to a church basement and asking a higher power to remove my neurology, I can do things like try the ketogenic diet and see how it affects me. And I've found so far, I mean, there's a lot of foods I miss, but so far I found it's really working for me. And I committed to trying it for 2 years, and 2 years is going to be in January. So I read in some studies that 2 years really does like a full reboot for your brain. I'm obviously not a doctor. This is not advice. I'm just telling you why I have MCT oil in my coffee. Okay. We can give you money. How? You have a mission that needs to be funded. Oh, you know what? I don't know what these little things are. I think these little, oh, can I do a little heart bomb on there? Oh, I can. I don't know how Lives works, but it looks like two people have sent money because there's a dollar amount. So I think that you can do it through here, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I just know that this conversation needs to be happening and not enough people are happening it. So I'm going to just go live, even though I was like, honestly, so nervous to press live before this. I don't know why. I mean, it's kind of like nerve wracking to like hit live on the internet, right? I was like kind of scared, but I feel like I need to talk about this stuff. I, more than I need to talk about this stuff, I need these conversations to exist. And if nobody will fucking do it, I'm going to do it. And it's not that nobody's doing it. There are people doing it, but I'm just like, it's kind of like for me, it's be the change you want to see. Like that's how I feel about it. It doesn't need to be my voice. And the reason why I have people on my podcast is because I don't even think it's good just to have one voice. There needs to be a lot of voices. So if people want to share their story, I want to host that. If people are dissenting, I want to host them on my podcast. That's why I'm teaming up with Tara Grace on Sundays now. That's why Carrie and I once a month do our podcast, because it's a lot of voices are what's going to be, I think, like awakening and liberating for us. But I feel like it needs to be heard. So I'm going to speak it. Let's see. Where are we here? Oh my God, there's like a lot. It's patterns, not a pathology. Yeah. That makes total sense. What was the book again? I'm going to get it this weekend if it's in my bookshop. Oh shoot, I don't know what I was talking about when you wrote that comment. I'm so sorry. What book? Oh, if you mean the book about the alcohol deprivation effect, that was called The Cure for Alcoholism. It was revolutionary. Warning, I freaked out while reading it, meaning I got a little bit like I deprogrammed AA while reading it, actually. And I read this like more than 5 years after leaving AA, because it was basically saying that for 78% of the people, drinking with naltrexone, doing Sinclair method, like worked and helped them drink less problematically, right? Harm reduction. So while I was reading the book, I kept thinking, am I going to drink again? Should I drink again? Should I drink with naltrexone? So and then I was like, these thoughts are dangerous. These thoughts are dangerous, because AA programmed me that to have those kinds of thoughts, it was dangerous. So I really did a lot of like nervous system regulation, like to be totally honest, while I was reading that book. But I ultimately decided that I don't want to drink. And there's no problem if you decide that you are going to drink, right? It's a very individual, like we have to decide that for ourselves. But I do know that if I am going to drink again, if I'm going to choose to drink again, it's going to be Sinclair method. I am going to try it where I pair naltrexone an hour before. So that book, The Cure for Alcoholism, again, I don't like the title because I don't believe in alcoholism as a term, but I thought it was really great. I have a video on that on my channel too. It's a super thanks. Oh, okay. Super thanks. Yay. Super thanking. I appreciate the super thanks. Where am I? I wanted to share that AA has had me in a wrong mindset for years, 100%. I've been in and out of the rooms and have gone full blown back to addiction because I couldn't fit in the rooms. I'm so sorry to hear it. We deserve better. It is such bullshit what happens in there. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. If you're struggling right now, which it sounds like you are, I hope you find a way to struggle less. I don't know what to tell you to do. I'm not in a place to tell you what to do. And you didn't even ask me to, right? This isn't about telling anybody what to do, but I really hope you find a break from your struggling if you're really struggling right now. My channel offers healing words and great music. It's much like our friend here. What's your channel? Oh, it is just Keith. Your channel is this, Keith Van 1981. All right, that's awesome. Coping or adaptive, Coping or adaptive mechanical responses. Stephen Wilshire is autistic, incredible memory and story. Yeah, the memory thing is real, like remembering all the details. I think that's what also I realize now, because like I went to like life coaching school in 2012. And so I started a life coaching business in 2012, 2013. And I would remember like everything that my clients would say. And even years later, if they stayed with me for years, I would remember all the details of their prior conversations. So I think that part of like my brain, which is associated with autism, right, like really helped me help people transform, because I could reply back to what they said, which, and I'd always be like, okay, you said this and you said this, what's true? So I didn't realize what cognitive dissonance was, but I was helping them like true up their cognitive dissonances. Cause I'm like, you said this 2 years ago and now you're saying this, what's reality? And they'd be like, oh, I kind of more agree with this one. So then it would help them like wake up. So there's definitely like pros and cons of any kind of brain that we have. There's not like one way that's better. Obviously, nobody is superior. We're not in a cult. Let's see. You are teaming up. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I think you mean Tara Grace. Yes. Sundays, 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon. High noon is a wink at Bernie. Bestie is absent. Bernie is burning, if you know what I mean. Let's see. But AA people are very spiritual, Bestie, until you don't agree with them. I know. I'm spiritual as long as you conform. Yes, that's it. Thank you. You're the first I've seen talking against a cult. My YouTube algorithm got me here. Thank God for the algo, don't you think? I MCT oil and grass-fed butter equals bulletproof coffee. Yeah, I've done grass-fed butter before. I find the MCT oil is just what I use. I don't know. Fun fact, interesting too. So I started doing a red light panel and I do it every morning. Well, I do it like after my shower. So I don't shower right away. I wait a couple hours. And ever since I started doing the red light panel, which was about a year ago, slowly over the next 6 weeks, I started waking up earlier and earlier and earlier. And I've woken up this year. The latest I've slept this year is 5 a.m. I was waking up at 3:30. I was waking up at 4. Most days I was waking up at like 4:30. I found was like a good balance. Now I'm waking up at 5, but it's from like the biohacking and stuff. I feel like it resets my biological clock. So without effort, I pop up with all this energy for the day. It's I can't even tell you how nice that is to have a brain that's functioning well by actually looking at the health of my cells and not doing a moral inventory and not doing forced confession and not having to like put myself under a microscope. I can literally just like focus on making my mitochondria better or my brain cells better. Yeah, who knew? Okay, the color breathing method and magic frame safety lessons releases techniques can help with recovery. Yeah, oh, I started because a lot of you were asking about the biohacking things that I did. I need to go back and like put it over all my videos. I started to link the biohacking tools that I use under some of my videos, like as links, if you wanted to check them out. At some point, I'm going to get around. I literally have a million things that I want to create. So I can't get to everything right away, but I want to create videos on the biohacking things or the how I've changed my brain without AA to improve my life. Basically, I want to make videos on all the products that I love. I reached out to all the companies. There's like five different products that I use regularly. And I reached out to all of them and got affiliate links. And so in some cases with some of those products, I got a discount for anybody who uses my link. And then as an affiliate, that means I also get a little bit of a kickback as well, but you don't have to use my link. The point is I want to explain how I've gotten my brain to work better. So if you are interested in that, I'm still exploring too. I'm all about modern science and really looking at everything from a cellular level, not a like lacking God level or spiritual, what was it, spiritual malady? Yeah, like what does the actual science say? Can my cells be happy? When my mitochondria work better, everything works better because I have energy for digestion, detoxification, all of the things. Yeah. Even like I got a infrared sauna, like a portable one, and like it's a dome on the ground that you use. And I did it for like 8 months every day, like for like 45 minutes or an hour. And I feel like that really changed the game for my brain as well. Just detoxifying from a life of like, toxins. Not everybody needs that though. The thing is everything that I've tried, my intuition has led me to. I think that like we know what's for us. Like if we're vibing when we hear something, I think that that's like try this path. There's no like one answer, right? I love how you do not shame people here. It's very accepting community that being built here. I love it. Whatever I can do to help this movement, I'm so on board. Yeah, I'm so sick of like I think I'm gonna have to call these crying tea or tears with Bestie. Like, um, I feel like just me personally, that one hits me so hard because for my whole life, I've been told if I was a little bit different, I would be accepted, loved, or belong. And now I know because of like in my 40s, I get assessed as autistic and ADHD, but I didn't know it, like late diagnosed vibes, right? And so I know that I was always different because I'm fucking different. But it was always under the guise before that I could change myself to be then therefore accepted by the people who were more typical brained than me. And like, I feel like it's so violent to tell people like how they need to be so that you're okay. Even today, somebody wrote this comment, and I actually really respect the comment. They said, "Can you stop swearing? You would be more professional and I could send this video to people." And I really get that request. And I love requests. I love recommendations. I love all the things, but I am not available to change who I am so that I'm more palatable for anybody else. And I don't want anybody else to change how they are so that they're more palatable to me or for anybody else. I think that it's about being ourselves. And I made a commitment a while ago, like, I mean, ideally, I wouldn't swear as much, but I don't want to have to like live under this like filter and this mask of like, I need to express myself in a way that people are going to like it better. I would just like to, I just want to be me, and I'm all over the place sometimes. Like, hello, what do you think ADHD is? But I do feel like we should be allowed to be ourselves and being accepted for who we are. And that just is the opposite of what AA was. AA was like, you need a group think. Let's see. If you're struggling, which we're here for you. As you're enjoying reading these words, realize that you're naturally drawn to your highest good as your old habits hold less power over you with every healing breath you, yes and yes. Not in addiction right now. Sorry for that was misleading. Oh, okay, good. I am 8 months sober with AA or NA, just therapy and self-empowerment. Yay, self-empowerment. Awesome. Congratulations. That's huge. The first year, I mean, so many of those milestones in the first year, I do think it's like helpful to count time, especially in the beginning, because it is fucking a huge deal. I mean, alcohol can be a beast or whatever you were using, right? So addiction is nasty and no joke. Like, I mean, it almost cost me my life. So I totally realize that addiction is very like serious. I just don't think going to a harmful cult is the solution. Do you have a sobriety bestie Facebook group? I have a community off of Facebook. It's there's something called the Escape Kit, and then there is a membership called Deprogram Lounge with Zooms and a book club and all that. It's at bestieclub.com. Or you can go to sobrietybestie.com and you can click which either one. I did naltrexone. I know it works okay for some, but for me, it was an absolute disaster. I've heard that because naltrexone blocks your opioid receptors, and I had a massive panic attack, the worst experience of my life. Yeah, it's not for everybody, and it might not be for us at every season of our life either, right? And panic attacks suck. They suck. Sorry, just copy and pasted from my bookshop website. We'll get tomorrow if that gets the right book. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. All the favors of resistance. P.S. And the panic attack didn't just stop in a few minutes. It was continuous for hours. Oof. And many times worse than the worst panic attack before or after naltrexone. Ugh, that sounds awful. Yeah, not everything's for everybody. I have not smoked pot since the 90s. I was a teenager. It was a long time ago because smoking pot gives me panic attacks. Now, somebody joked, I think it was Sam on today's podcast, joked that if I was going to try to convert you, I'd say you haven't tried every strand. And maybe that's true. Although I will say that my boyfriend at that time is the one who grew that strand, and he was really good at that kind of a thing. That's all I'll say here. So it wasn't random. It was from a trusted source. Yeah, but pot gives me anxiety attacks. Let's see. Or at least it had. That was my experience. Bestie, please mention times with the time zone always online. Do you mean for like when I'm going to go live? So I know that on Sundays with Burn the Stigma with Tara Grace, it's going to be 9 a.m. Pacific, which is noon Eastern. For these tea with besties or whatever we call it, I kind of like tea with besties. That's kind of the vibe. Are we vibing that? Most of you put tea with besties. Okay. As you are enjoying reading these words now and in the future, as panic raises, realize it's just automatic and naturally melts into your deepest peace and comfort more with every breath. Sorry, Kirsten, I was typing fast. I think you mean because there's a star by my name that maybe you misspelled my name before. If you did, I didn't notice. Honestly, this font's really small. My eyes aren't what they used to be. And I never get upset if people don't spell my name right or say it right because most people don't. And as somebody who used to have all the anxiety disorders pretty much, I don't want my name to be a source of anxiety for anybody ever. So that's kind of even why I thought Bestie was good, or why when I give my email, I don't give my email that has my name in it because people won't probably spell it right. I say support at Sobriety Bestie because most people know how to spell support. So I understand that I have one of those weird names that's like hard to pronounce, hard to remember, hard to spell. So please, it's okay. Slaughter my name. It's fine. We were always more than enough, not broken. We are loved. You got this. My strong and resourceful friends. Yes. Without AA or NA. Oh, sober without. That's what I thought you meant. Sober without NA or, yeah. Self-empowerment vibes and therapy. Yes. Weed gives me panic attacks too, but surprisingly, actual stimulants like Adderall do not. Yeah, I've heard that, and, I've never done Adderall, and I've never done, like, amphetamines, so I don't know what that experience is like, but, yeah, every brain's different, so, like, naltrexone won't be for everybody, but it's something that I would try and see what I think if I was going to drink again, or actually, more accurately, I wish I knew about it in 2009 when I was gonna pay a lot of money for rehab and then join a cult religion. I would have preferred to have tried naltrexone instead first. Uh, yeah, harm reduction is like the team that I'm on. Even though I'm abstinent or sober, I'm on team harm reduction 100%. Let's see. Send out posts with times for live shows. I'm coming back and bringing people. Okay, so let me write that down. Posts for live shows with times. So would that be helpful to like do tea with besties once a week and have like a set day and time? I think that's what I'm hearing. I've just looked online for the book. Is this the author, The Cure for Alcoholism, the medically proven way to eliminate alcohol addiction paperback? Escapa. Yeah, yep. Escapa. That's it. And David Sinclair is the Sinclair method comes from David Sinclair, but Escapa, that's the author of the book. Yeah. I think David Sinclair wrote the part in the beginning of the book, if I remember correctly. You can do posts on YouTube. Sure. I can't find you on Facebook. Let me get my Facebook open. I don't know if we can send links in there, but I'll go to my Facebook. Okay. Can I post in here? Y'all, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. That is my personal Facebook page where you can message me if you want, and that's where I post. I don't know. I just kind of like felt like there's social media there. It's just a lot to like post everywhere, and I stopped posting on my Sobriety Bestie Facebook, like I guess page, and I just started posting on my personal page. And that happened when I broke my anonymity. April 6th, 2025 of this year is the first time I said on the internet that I left AA, and that was on my Facebook personal page. It felt very personal. I was so scared. And that was my 5 year to the day of leaving AA. And I just wanted to rip the band-aid off and like be honest. I felt like I was like, I mean, really how I felt, and let me know if you relate to this. I felt this like quiet confidence that I had had building for years because I felt like for the first time, I know who I am without anybody telling me who to be. Nobody knows really that I left AA, well, except the people that shunned me, right? But I'm not like, I don't know. I just felt like this quiet confidence that like I just saw the world a lot more clear, but I hadn't told anybody. I wasn't telling people. It wasn't a part of a story I was sharing about myself. But it got to the point that I also felt like I was being disingenuous by not being honest about like what was such a big part of my life, which was the deprogramming journey. Yeah. Let's see. I've just looked online for the book. Okay, I think I read that. Thank you. We'll buy the book tomorrow. Thank you for confirming it's the right one. Yeah. So I found that book really helpful. I found a lot of books helpful. So I have a deprogram book club. We had 3 books that were coming up. So a lot of you mentioned to read Sober Truth. I haven't read it yet. I listened to part of it in 2020 when I left AA, but I haven't read the book yet. And there's a lot of studies in it. But 3 people this week told me to read it. So I was like, okay, if 3 people are telling me to read it, I'm going to read it. And it's worth reading anyways. I want to read all the books. So there's only so much time, right? Another one that I haven't read yet, but it's on my list is The Real AA by Ken Raka, maybe is his name. And then the one I'm going to be reading next is this one, Critical Thinking Vibes, The Demon Haunted World, Carl Sagan. I don't want to say his name wrong. This was recommended. All three of these were recommended in the YouTube comments. So really, I mean, I imagine your experience too is that you're learning a lot from the comments on like dissenting videos. I know I am. Y'all know way more things than I do. I'm just sparking conversations. So I'm excited to read this one. I'm excited to read all the things and report back to you. Let's see. Plus, the Freedom Model has good podcasts on addiction and a few personal stories. Yeah, a lot of people really like the Freedom Model. I hear that. To me, I would say that's the number one recommended program that people are saying in my comments is the Freedom Model. I try to read most of the comments. I don't get notifications for all of them. I miss a lot of comments. But Freedom Model is said a lot. I personally didn't really vibe with it, although I think if I had read it in 2020 when I left AA, I think I really would have vibed with it. But being many years out of AA, I feel like it's what it's saying. I feel like the Freedom Model is a good stepping stone, but it's not. I don't know. Honestly, it felt a little bit dogmatic for me, and anything that feels dogmatic, I just kind of like want to throw up a little bit. Like, and I don't mean throw up about their model because everyone seems to love their model. So if you vibe it, go read it. Help, like it's helping a lot of people. But anything that feels dogmatic, I feel like my body is maybe it's my nervous system. I just am like no. So anybody who's like telling me like a belief as a fact, I'm like no. So I don't know. Maybe it's PTSD, to be honest, from being in a cult. I don't know. Let's see. I noticed that after I started to honestly share that I'm into moderation and responsible enjoyment in AA groups, people talk to me less in fellowship and do not suggest to meet afterwards. 100%. We're not safe if we have alternative thoughts or are going into moderation by AAs. 100%. That's not surprising. It's sad, but it's not surprising. I love and really value this community, and sharing what works and helps each person is the real help. Yeah, and I love that we all have our own perspectives and there's space for all of it. You know, I like it that there's a lot of us that are trying moderation. There's a lot of us that want abstinence. There's a lot of us that might be doing more California sober, like smoking. There's a lot of people who are still in AA but aren't really fully in yet, or they're on their way out. There's people who are doing smart. There's people all over the board. I really like that. I like the variety and like anything goes and like the kind of no rules vibe, but there is no right way, which is really more accurate to life, right? I found you on Facebook. She is wearing a hat. Lol. Oh, in my Facebook profile picture. Yeah, totally. Um, oh, all right. Oh my God, it's been 90 minutes. You know, lemon water with besties doesn't have the same ring, right? Okay, maybe tea with besties. And since we have, I'm gonna write that down, tea with besties. And because we have Sundays, then I think to break it up, Wednesdays or Thursdays would be better. So there's a live twice a week. I kind of like that. And I'll come on. My idea for it is I'll come on with a topic that I think is important. Like this topic that I brought to this one was about I really believe and feel like the recovery narrative is it's shifting. It's that it's building momentum. And there's always like a tipping point. I don't know if you've ever read what's his name? Maxwell Gladwell. Okay, I'm forgetting his name right now. Tipping point where at a certain point there's the early adopters and then it moves into where something becomes mainstream. There's a tipping point where everybody then knows about the thing, whether it's an iPhone, whether it's technology, whether it's anything. And so I feel like we're building momentum in this like informed consent recovery thought process, or AA is harmful. And it's going to hit a point where mainstream is going to know about it. Kind of to me, it's like similar to like a Me Too moment in history where something happens. And from that point on, the narrative is a little bit different and a little bit more evolved, helpful, healing, whatever. And I feel like we're coming close to that. I don't know if that's going to be in months or years, but I think it's happening. Um, Spilling the tea. Oh yeah. Okay, so tea with besties is good because it's like spilling the tea. Love it. That's a vibe. Yeah, totally. They told me to get 2 sweets. What does that mean? You can do a poll in the live chat like option 1. Oh, I love learning from people. This is you guys, I am obsessed with learning, and when y'all teach me stuff, it is like my favorite thing in the world. Um, okay, wait. Pop out chat, reactions, timestamps, moderation, participation, community moderation. How do I do a poll? Uh, Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Oh, okay. What's our vibe? And then number 1, tea with besties. Number 2, coffee with besties. Coffee and tea with besties. Did I do it? All right, I think I just did a poll, but more will be revealed. um, let's see. Yeah, like spilling the tea. Cool. Oh, we're having okay. Tea with besties, coffee and tea with besties. Just kidding. Okay. Well, this has been so fun. So I want to wait another minute or two till I have a couple of votes coming in. Oh, they're going all over the place. It's like a tie. Yeah. I feel like tea has a vibe because of spill the tea, and tea is about like kind of talking about things you're not supposed to talk about, right? But I personally like I'm coffee ride or die personally. So if I had to choose either coffee or tea for the rest of my life, I would choose coffee 100%, no questions asked. But I kind of like the way tea with besties sounds. We'll see. Um, okay, so we're at a tie for tea with besties, coffee with besties, and coffee and tea with besties is low. Okay, it's coffee with besties. I wonder, I bet more of us prefer coffee, is just my guess. Maybe that's me projecting the coffee that was always in AA on us, but tea is definitely a vibe too. Okay. So I'll definitely think on that. I appreciate your feedback, and everyone who is voting and participating. And I voted coffee because I like coffee more. Yeah, if I'm honest, I think tea with besties sounds better and like has a better meaning, but I prefer coffee. So coffee with besties feels more like real in a way. I don't know. I voted coffee because I like coffee more as a drink. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll see. I wonder, yeah. I mean, it might be kind of fun if I was also like at a cafe, but that might be too hectic with all the noise. I'm thinking out loud. Okay. Well, everybody, thank you for being here today. It was so great. Today I had coffee with besties, and that was a lot of fun. Y'all know you can always DM me ideas for videos. I am really excited to keep creating content, meaning spark conversations on this topic, because I think it's really great to um, have community and resources to I mean, like, literally, I'm spending, like, all my time on creating resources for, like, deprogramming AA because I just wish they existed. I know Orange Papers is legit, and Orange Papers helped me so much when I left AA, but Orange Papers isn't everything. Orange Papers isn't videos of people sharing their stories of how they deprogrammed and what was hard for them. So, I'm all about solving this problem right now for us. So it's really great to have you here. And as I'm doing this work or creating this content and stuff, it's helping me evolve too. And I yeah, I really enjoy deprogramming. I enjoy unlocking more freedom. time and time again. And I really appreciate you and hearing from you and all the things. Let's see. Thank you, Kirsten. Thanks for your reply earlier. I sent a Facebook message to you. Cool. Have a lovely weekend, Kirsten. Everyone, stay safe. We are great here. Thank you. Fanta is awesome. Fanta with besties. Are we gonna get bananas? Bananas with bananas with besties. Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna over and out. We are healing from each other. We are all healing from each other. Yes, yes. The teamwork makes the dream work, right? Or is that just another slogan? Yeah, I feel like hearing where everybody's at, like it wakes me up more too, and I get more free, and then we all get more free together by just being honest about what it's all like. Cheers. I had a Fanta with Bestie. Fanta. We could say, what are you drinking right now? That would be hilarious. Oh my God, do you see the poll? We're at a three-way tie. No way. We're at a three-way tie. We are just like we're should be all of the things with Bestie. Oh, what about just drinking with Bestie? Because we can't agree on what we're drinking with. What if it's drinking with Bestie? Drinking with besties. Oh my God. Milkshake hour matches. Yeah, that's the vibe. Matches. I like matches. Does your channel take a lot of time because your videos look very professional? Um, it depends upon what part. Like this video is only going to take me as long as uh the 5 minutes before I hit record to have the courage to hit record because I was scared for some reason because it's scary to go live. But this video is like it's 1 hour and 36 minutes so far. Once I hit like end stream, it's going to be automatically uploaded to my channel. So it takes me no more time. It only takes the time that we're hanging out together to create it. But a video like I was explaining with the one like Sam that went this morning, or any podcast that I do that's like 90 minutes or 2 hours, those take me like a full day to do, like 2 hours to record. And then however long it is to record, it takes about twice as long to edit, and then even more time to upload, tag, do all the things. So it's I don't want to say it's a lot of work because it's a labor of love kind of thing. Like I really love it and I get a lot out of it, and I think other people do too. But it is easier to go live because then I don't have to. The hardest part for me is not vibing with you. I literally feel like I'm drinking with besties, right? Coffee in my case. The hardest part is the editing. It zaps my brain power. I mean, maybe I should have somebody else do my editing. But I feel like my mental batteries just go downhill fast, even though I love editing. I really love video editing, but it just like zaps out all my brain power. So then I'm done after I'm like dead. Like I need to go for a walk in nature or lay down or something. So it's really the editing that is laborious. And that's part of the reason why Tara Grace, Burn the Stigma, and I said, let's just go live together every week. Let's vibe. Let's be friends. Let's talk about like recovery and life after recovery together. And then we don't do editing. We just hang out, talk as friends, vibe with you guys in the comments. And then it makes it easier and it makes it more fun. And it's also more alive when it's actually a connection and there's all the comments. And then it's like everybody's together, you know? So I think if I can lean more into making content in a way that doesn't involve editing, but at the same time, I really also think there's such value in the longer videos with other people sharing their stories. So I'm not going to stop doing that. I don't know if I'm just babbling. Hilarious drinking with besties. Okay, is it drinking with besties? I mean, we can't figure out if it's tea with besties, coffee with besties, or coffee and tea with besties. Drinking with besties? I mean, is that too scandalous? We know that means drink of choice, right? Oh my God, I left my last AA meeting and went to online looking for someone to help me get out of this cult, and I found you. Thank God you created this. Yeah. Laugh my fucking ass off. Let's do it. Do you mean by let's do it? Do you mean drinking with besties? Are we liking that or is that bananas? I don't know. That kind of is a vibe, right? Or is that just crazy? How do you do thumbnails on your own? I use Canva. So I've learned in creating I've learned that systems really help me, and if I create systems for myself, I can just get a lot more done and it's easy. So I like literally went out one day and I put my camera I put my phone on a tripod and I had the timer go off and I just took like 20 photos of myself with different facial expressions. And then I cut out the background in Camtasia. You can do, or not Camtasia. Camtasia I can use as one of my editors, but as in Canva, you can do remove the background. So I remove the background on those images with me with different emotions. I don't know. I feel like that's a good vibe for YouTube. And then I just have a template where I can see which emotion of my face. It's kind of weird, but it's what works. And then I just put it on and then I change the words for the thumbnail title. And often I have ChatGPT help me brainstorm with what I want it to be called. Like I can load the transcript into ChatGPT and say, help me think of great names for a thumbnail. So when I have systems, it can be, but it takes a little while to develop your systems. But if that's like a little backscene tour of it all. Yeah, I do my thumbnails on my own. Can you tell? Can we talk about recovery dharma or an alternative that's not like the 12-step cult, like you did the Rational Recovery Smart video? I know you had a yoga background, so do you find so d- so you find it interesting? Yeah, okay. So I've been doing yoga for over 20 years. I at 90 days sober, I did an Ashtanga yoga teacher training. My brain was like toast. I didn't know I was ADHD then, but I could not focus for the fucking life of me. I was also coming off benzos, Klonopin, and I was in early sobriety. So I was like, why don't I go do a yoga teacher training for a month because I can't fucking think. And I had the resources to do that at that time. So I did Ashtanga yoga teacher training. And I did I did a yin yoga teacher training as well. I think that was like 2018, 2019 in Bali. And yeah, I've taught yoga from time to time, but it's not really my thing. I just as like a kind of a guest teacher kind of thing. But I really do like yoga. I went to yoga last night. I go to yoga all the time. I love it. But as far as uh recovery dharma. So I was just and let me know what you guys think about this. So what is his name? Someone just DM'd me. Um, I should know his name. Uh, Noah Levine. Do you guys know Noah Levine? Let me click on his profile. Refuge recovery. So my understanding, although y'all probably know a lot more than me on this, it was originally Refuge Recovery by Noah Levine and Dharma Punks. And then there was a scandal around 2018, 2019, and lawsuits and stuff, and Refuge Recovery, like some of the communities split and it became Dharma Recovery. Is that right? Recovery Dharma? And it's essentially similar, but yeah, I don't know the whole backstory. You guys probably know more than me. But is the question to do recovery dharma like for me to read the book and then talk about do a video about the book? I have no problem with that. Or I think I did a recovery dharma. I think I went to a recovery dharma meeting and did a video about it. I think that's one of the programs that I went to. I haven't been to refuge recovery. I've heard that they're similar, but I didn't get sober in either of those paths. Um, Drinking with Bestie is, yeah. I mean, we're literally still a three-way tie on this poll. It might be Drinking with Besties. Let me write that down. It's kind of funny, kind of sketchy, but I don't know. I kind of like edgy. Let's see. We love a scandal. I'm Team T, but Drinking with Besties is fab. Can I like put a heart on these things? How does that work? No. Okay. Drinking with Besties is good. Yeah, that's what I remember you saying. Yeah, I love yoga. I do it all the time. And yoga was the first thing for me. I started doing yoga in 2004 and I got sober in 2009. So I was doing yoga like the last 5 years of my drinking and it really helped. I would say not completely because I still had like all the anxiety disorders and stuff, but yoga was like the practice that really helped me kind of, I guess, find peace. Like be able to focus on my breath and on my body and like really calm my like find drishti is the word, like find this inner gaze where I was present and at ease. And so for me, yoga has been very, very powerful, and I still do it all the time. Is Canva free? Canva is free, and there's also a paid version. I use the paid version. I think it's about $12 a month. I don't remember. I don't know which features are on the paid that aren't on the free. Um, yes, yes, yes. That's what I posted about. Yes, I am. Some parts of Canva are free. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, that would be awesome to do a video of the Recovery Dharma book, especially now that there's a new edition out. Okay. Recovery Dharma book, new edition. Yeah. So I can read the book and then do a video on it. And then that would be a springboard or a conversation starter for everybody, especially people who are actually doing recovery dharma, who know a lot more about it than me, to join in the conversation and like create some community around that path. How do y'all quit drinking in 2016, quit a year later? These have been the best years of my life. Yeah, cool. All right. This is the live that keeps on living. I think if I have to go at this point, I don't want to do another poll because we've been here forever and we all have to go to the bathroom and whatever else. Or maybe you did go to the bathroom. But obviously, I didn't. I've been here. But I think we're close to drinking with besties. I'm so shocked that that's what we came up with. Honestly, because in my head, I've been wanting to do lives forever. And I was like, it's going to be like tea with bestie, because best tea with best tea. Like it sounds good, and tea, spilling the tea. But I like coffee better. What do I do? But drinking with besties is like ridiculously like, ugh. But we are kind of like the recovery rebels, aren't we? Because we dare to think for ourselves, and that's pretty outrageous in the narrative that we were conditioned to believing, where thinking was discouraged, group thinking was rewarded with being a part, belonging, and belonging is tied to our survival. So it got locked into our nervous system that we can't think for ourselves. I mean, of course we were thinking for ourselves, but not all the time. It was dangerous to have outside thoughts, or exactly, that's why it works. Bunch drunks, lol. Oh my God. Drinking with besties. The fact that it just makes me laugh and feel uncomfortable, maybe that's a good sign. It does. It makes me feel like uncomfortable and like silly and giddy at the same time. Oh, okay. Namaste. Namaste. Let's get back to the drishti. Whew. Let's see. Yes, always a rebel doing what's best for us without control of the cult. Yeah. I like recovery rebels. Yeah, totally. And to me, it's like it shouldn't be rebellious to be yourself and to think for yourself, but it is, right? Okay. So, all right. It's been so much fun drinking with besties. I've had coffee. I actually stopped drinking the coffee a while ago because it's at my don't drink coffee past this point. If I drink coffee past that time, then I won't go to sleep at night, right? I've learned my lesson. I've pushed it to the boundaries. Like when I was in early sobriety, I pushed how much coffee I drank. It like had to be aligned with my anxiety levels. So I would drink coffee as much as I could without having an anxiety attack. I'm not recommending this. This is just like literally what I did. I was like, I love coffee, but I hate anxiety attacks. So how can I like balance this out? The tightrope of early sobriety. Oh my God. I really feel for anybody who's in early sobriety. And I just want to say that like our nervous systems totally shift. Our brains can totally change. And as our brains change, our entire life changes. So it's not even hope. It's the reality of neuroplasticity. New brains have new lives. So the brains do recover from alcohol addiction or any addiction. And yeah, new brains have a new experience of life. Let's see. We are not in recovery. We are normal. Drinking with besties. That's the name. Well, you know why I like drinking with besties so much too? It literally makes me like uncomfortable and happy at the same time. I don't know what this feeling is. Like I feel like ooh, like it's too much, but I also feel like it's so good. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being like a weird vibe here. This has been an emotional journey. Welcome to the emotional roller coaster with Bestie. I'm laughing, I'm crying, I'm all over the fucking place. The reason why I like drinking with besties is because then you get to choose. I'm not telling you it's tea. I'm not telling you it's coffee. I'm not telling you it's coffee or tea. I'm telling you that you have fucking agency by the title. Drink whatever you want. If you want to bring a glass of wine, bring your wine. If you want to bring matcha, get your matcha on. If you want to do lemon water, or like me, lemon water and something else, whether it's coffee, tea, or something, it implies drinking with besties is brilliant because it implies agency, freedom, and autonomy. And that's what we weren't allowed in the cult. All right. Can I drop this mic? Can you even see the mic? Let's see. Yeah, we did. We did it. We did it. Creative brainstorming here. Team Freedom has come up with a name. Take care, Kirsten, and everyone. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. No one is alone. Stay strong. Be fab. What time span do you define as early sobriety? For me, early sobriety, I'd say the first year for sure. There was a lot of changes going on. I'd say like the first 2.5 years, I just had overwhelming anxiety. So for me, I would say the first 2.5 years, because I was coming off benzos, because of all my phobias and fears, because of my specific brain, the first 2.5 years was like a very different thing for me. Like it was a lot, you know, and I just kept thinking that I can get free, I can get free, I can get free. And that's why I always say, I don't know how much freedom is available for you, but there's more freedom available for you. Because I just believed delusionally that I could get better. And I kept doing things to get better. I kept meditating. I kept doing mindfulness. I kept doing practices because like there has to be a better way of life for me. I'm going to keep doing all these things that say that there's results because I want to get better. I want to get free. So for me, I would say, and maybe it's individual, I would say the first 2.5 years of my sobriety were very different as my brain was coming back to homeostasis from everything that I personally experienced, including my very specific traumas. My, you know, I think later I worked through some of the childhood sexual abuse, but I was also neurodivergent and didn't know it. I had a lot of things going on. Let's see. I'm gonna wrap this up. I want to read these comments before we go, though. It's good because people who are still drinking can find us. Exactly. But tea is still the best, in my opinion. Lol. Exactly. We have agency. We are normal. We are normal is better than being in recovery. Lol. Amen. That's true. Lol. Okay, good to know. I'm almost 17 months just by choice. Ha ha ha. Take care and have a lovely weekend. Look after yourself and you are strong. Yeah, I think early sobriety as there is official, and I kind of like don't like the official things. I don't like rules on healing personally after being in a cult. I don't like rules on healing. But there is an official thing by the American I don't know, National Institution on Alcohol Abuse and something or other. I don't even know. They define recovery in stages, and there's initial, and then there's sustained, and it goes between 5 years. There's early sobriety as a period. I think they do 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, and 5 years or something, and they've labeled those periods. But the brain is really recovering. Alcohol is toxic to the brain, and the brain really does recover from like on its own, right? It's the way that our arm, if we had a cut, is going to heal on its own. Our brains are recovering on their own, plus we do work. So there really is a actual recovery period. Let's see. And you know what? Maybe it's not even early recovery. Maybe that was just my recovery, because I don't think I was in AA for 10 years. I wasn't, even though I was in recovery in my brain, like in meaning going to meetings and all that, I'd recovered from alcohol a long time before that, right? So I think we get to just decide for ourselves. It's like, how long is trauma recovery? How long is any kind of healing, right? Maybe just what feels right to the individual. All right. Over and out. I just need to hang up because I want to keep talking to you. And I'll see you next time. I'll figure out what's the best day and time to commit to for drinking with besties. Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys. Take care. See you in the next video, next live stream.